would you not go for it? Why would you not take a chance? At one point in time, you got to take a chance on you.
Welcome back to another episode of Bar Friends. I'm joined here today with Natty Neighbors. I'm joined with Anthony and then David. These guys have been able to communicate with me a little bit and get on the podcast, and they have great content through fitness challenges, a great business of offering dieting plans, weight loss training, weight gain training, like everything that you guys need. So if you guys want to reach out to them after, I'll be sure to plug all their socials in the link in the description.
We appreciate the love, baby.
Yeah.
Thank you for having us today, Chase. We appreciate you having us on.
Yeah, of course.
We respect your content. We love your content, so we are happy to jump on the pod today.
Yeah, I just love being able to do these because they provide your audience and my audience with a different perspective of you guys. You know, your users are only used to minute-long videos of you guys doing fitness challenges, and they never have yet to get into a conversation that they can lean in on without, having to buy a plan or whatever. Or anything
absolutely.
Like that. So just to be able to provide that extra look for you guys. But yeah, we had started talking before, and we were talking about social media, different types of platforms and how people conduct their videos and promote them. And Anthony had asked me, so what's my editing process like? And to answer for you guys, it's a funny story. So you remember when TikTok got shut down for that whole 16 hours?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So it freaked me out too, because I edit primarily on CapCut. I don't know if you guys use CapCut.
Yes,
too.
exactly.
So when I logged in that
day,
the
best editing software great. You do. If you do any of the individual apps, those things are such a mess.
Oh yeah.
Like there's 2 days that we were doing it, we were like, dude, we gotta throw out a bid today. And I'm like, dude, have you used TikTok? This thing is horrid.
Yeah. We were only freaking out. We weren't really worried about TikTok. We were worried about CapCut.
That's what I was gonna say.
And actually, like we said earlier, we weren't doing too well on TikTok at the time. We were getting too much traction. So Instagram was way more like our main platform. So we were honestly happy. I was like, dude, please get rid of TikTok here. I'm done posting this thing, but bring us CapCut,
please. So I didn't realize that they had they were like an internal deal together. I thought CapCut was its own. I knew that CapCut was like, there's TikTok trends that you can use like guidelines for. But when I was like laughing at everyone like TikTok, because we do better on YouTube Shorts, like you guys do better on Instagram. Like it'll push more people to the platforms that you use.
Yeah.
And so I started like laughing, and then I opened up my laptop to edit on CapCut, and I was like, it's gone. It's shut down right now. So then to answer your question, I panic bought Opus Clips. So do you guys know Opus Clips?
No, not familiar.
So it's an AI.
Can't be better than CapCut.
So it depends what you want to do.
Oh, wow.
So Opus Clips is great for podcasts because I can upload the whole video and it clips it up by itself, subtitles everything for me. So it's an AI software that
I feel like I've seen ads for that.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
So I panic bought it, and it was like $124 for the year, and I was like, I better continue. I better record so many episodes this year to be able to like actually use this. And so, like I said, because of school, we've been slowed down. So I'm really thankful that I got you guys on selfishly to be able to use my membership as well.
Oh, is this gonna be the first episode that you used it for?
I've used it before, and I was tired. I was like, dude, because I made like so many different emails to use the free trial. So I was like, all right, we're just going to go in on it and use it. So I have used it before, but it is really great for me. So sometimes it'll clip up videos and I'm like, okay, what even is this? Like it's AI, like it doesn't clip what I want sometimes. So if I see a video or we talk about something that I think is really important, I'll make sure to go in and do the time to do my own editing. Mm-hmm. That way the point comes across better than what AI thinks the conversation could sound like.
Okay, interesting.
So, I mean, I do use it. I don't know exactly how well it will go for your forms of content because I'm sure you guys don't record like one video and then have it clipped up.
It's
like you guys are
normally
a bunch of
mini clips, especially with all like the challenges and stuff that we do. It's
you never know
a lot
how
of
it's going to
separate
turn out.
videos. There are some that could be one video, like we do some of the energy bar or protein bar and energy drinks,
like the reviews,
that could be one clip that you just break up. But a lot of, I'd say majority of ours are separate videos that we're putting together. Yeah. We love using CapCut though.
CapCut's the best.
It's great. It's just because it's free, and then if you want to, it's like $8 a month to get the full thing. It's like it's nothing. So
we were wondering why you had us on. That makes sense to pay back for your subscription.
Yeah.
I used to use iMovie back in the day when I made some like old videos, and now that I have CapCut, it's a whole different game.
Horrible.
Whole different game.
Apple needs to step up the platform of iMovie.
Yeah,
it's
really.
just you have 4 buttons. It's transition,
never used.
cut, and
some
clip.
people like compliment us on our editing, but CapCut kind of handles most of the load for us. Like it
makes it so easy.
It really is. You can almost do anything on there. It's insane.
They have like all the templates and stuff too.
Yeah.
Honestly, just make funny templates of my friends, like random videos and stuff.
Oh no, the
like
templates
on
are
random
great.
days. Like it's funny just like make like meme type of stuff and shoot it around.
Yeah.
I love it.
So we'll back it up to how you guys actually got into Natty Neighbors and what it really is in your guys' story. So obviously, you guys are both athletes, both played football, both went to Dayton.
I played just 1 year at Dayton. He played 5 years at Dayton.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So offensive line, right? Where did you?
I played nickel for a year and then was out of there.
Yeah. So you guys obviously positionally have very different builds that are required to play that position.
For sure.
And so from what I understand of David's journey is you lost 70 pounds. On
70,
that
80,
course.
yeah.
80. What actually is it? Because online it still says 70.
What is the actual number? What did you start at when you finished at your peak? At your peak.
I would say 285 during my 5th year, and now I'm 215. So 70 pounds.
Dude,
70
that
pounds.
is still an incredible
pounds.
weight loss because people become very deterred by,
Yes.
how am I going to lose 5 pounds?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, and this is the biggest thing I like to tell about Dave during that time. So I hadn't talked to Dave in a while. I graduated, started working, moved to Charlotte. Dave was there for his 5th year. So there's a few months where we didn't really talk much. Finally, I'm like, let's see what Dave's been up to. We're catching up. And I'm like, so what's your whole plan? Like, do you think you're going to actually, he always said he was going to go on a big cut as soon as he finished football. And they still had probably 4 weeks left in the season, his 5th year. And I'm like, so are you going to jump straight into the cut after, as soon as your season ends? Or are you going to give a little break? And he goes, oh no, dude, I already started it. And I was like, what? I was like, dude, you're still,
you're
all
playing.
conference guy. Like you guys have damn near half your season left still. And he's like, oh no, dude, I'm full on the cut. I've cut my deficits at X amount of calories. He's like, I'm full on right now. He's like, I'm down like 10 pounds already. And I was like, yeah, this kid does not. One thing about Dave, if he says something's going to happen, it's going to happen. Like I'll say some things loosely. He is so not like that. If he says it, it's happening.
Yeah. So that was, I would say, that's your initial. You've always been used to get reps, weight room, everything, fitness.
Yeah.
So now you're losing weight. So Anthony, like whenever you're going through, from the videos or the pictures that I saw, you went through a giant muscle gain.
Definitely.
And so talk me through a little bit about that. Like what was your story through going through to put on weight?
Yeah, honestly, me and Dave have from day one, like we've always, like we both loved football, growing up. We were actually rivals in high school. So like, we played against them at Hines and obviously smoked them. But,
we got smoked.
It was
I was there watching.
We got smoked. It wasn't good.
It was very clear from the beginning that like me and Dave loved the lifting aspect that was involved in football. Off-season workouts, whether it's in season, like, football, especially weightlifting is so integrated in the sport. So we always loved that portion.
Football
We're
was
geeky about
football
it.
was like our outlet for lifting.
For lifting.
Football was our outlet for it.
Yeah. So when I was done playing football, I was like, dude, like, where do I push my passion into? And like immediately I just like, I need to do something physical. I went straight, push even further into the weightlifting. And building the muscle is honestly just over time. I mean, I've been steady lifting for, both of us for like 9-10 years or something like that. So, stacking all those days, and I was a lot heavier set actually. I was like, in high school, I was probably like 210, and I always was really just into pushing a lot of weight. So same as Dave, similar process as Dave, when you're pushing that weight for that much time, you're building so much muscle at the time that when you shed the weight off, that's whenever people compliment you about like, all the muscle building that you've put on and stuff like that. Yeah. So that's the biggest thing for me. It's really just a long duration of time of doing it every day.
Yeah. So with both of your stories, how did Natty Neighbors really come into fruition?
So it's really, like Sir mentioned, we had a little bit of like a 3-month period after I finished my 5th year. He was already working down in Charlotte where we both were about to head into the corporate world, and we didn't know exactly what we wanted to do. We both had good jobs lined up, but he called me one day out of the middle of the blue, and he was just like, yo, like, you want to try to start something?
And the funny thing was, so my mom wanted me to put together like a little like diet thing for her.
I forgot about that.
So I put together like a 5-page like random little document, and Dave's into that type of stuff. So I shot to him. I'm like, dude, let me know what you think about this. He's like, dude, this is sweet.
It was impressive. It was well worded. I was like, this is like people could benefit from that.
Yeah.
People could benefit from that.
And we've always been so passionate about it that we were like, dude, we already put all this up, and we were doing dumb stuff, whether it was like eating wise or like crazy fitness challenges before we started all of this.
Yeah.
So we're like, dude, we should just start documenting some of this. And it was kind of a weird process. We didn't even go into the social part right away. We worked for like, I don't even know, like
probably 7 months. 7 months.
Just making programs.
Yeah.
So our weight loss program and our workout programs. So we were just on a Google Doc with each other, just adding stuff every single day. And then eventually we're like, dude, now we have like a bazillion page of this. We got to put this into something.
Yeah.
Like, we're too far into this to like just forget about it.
And the main thing is I was right in the middle of my 70-pound weight loss while we were doing this.
Yeah.
So I was like, this is I'm just like teaching myself how to be better.
What he was actively doing.
Documenting what I was actively doing. And it was helpful for me to just, as we were writing like our first weight loss program, I was like, I can just kind of get my thoughts on paper of what I've been doing for the past and kind of organize it and create something that ideally like me and you could follow for the rest of our lives. Like just like a easy step-by-step process of daily actionable items. Like that's what we always focused on, is like, what is the daily items that we can do to achieve our dream
get
physique.
A little bit better every single day. And another thing, especially with like the weightlifting programs, like Dave is already a total geek with the programs. Like if you see this guy's lifting program, he has an Excel document that tracks like every single
rep
set, that accumulates during your week. So I was like, dude, I would use this all the time. Like I would use his document, his Excel sheet for my
add
stuff.
in your own stuff.
I'm like, dude, let's just make this into a full package kind of. So we turned basically these Google Docs that we just had all these loose thoughts on into several different programs that we were able to put together. That we were working on for a while. So it was a cool process before we even got to working on or even thinking about anything social media wise.
Yeah.
And it was truly just about our passion for weightlifting and everything before that. And if we have any expertise, it's the weight management, whether you're trying to gain weight or lose fat. That's both of our expertise when it comes to the health and fitness space. I'd say like we know what to do. If you want to lose 10 pounds or if you want us to bulk you up to 225, we got you.
Yeah. I mean, both of us have fluctuated a lot of weight over the past
for sure
8 years. I mean, whenever I was in 9th grade, I was like 180, and then got up to 300, and then now I'm back to 215. So we've kind of done it all. You've gained a lot too. So
I was like 210 in high school, big middle linebacker, and then I cut down for college, went back up to like 215, and then cut back down to like 190. Like it's tons of fluctuations over the time to get to like the point that we're at now, and still building.
And I think the biggest thing that me and you saw that we wanted to convey that message was we learned the science behind it, and we learned like how to just control the variables.
Yeah.
And so many people think it's like this magic foo-foo fairy stuff, whether I lose weight or gain weight, but me and you both understood how to control it.
Yeah.
And we thought that was a good message to share.
Yeah.
Rather than feeling like me and you both like to feel like we have total control over if we're going to gain weight, lose weight, what we're doing with our bodies.
Yeah, we know exactly what we're doing.
Yeah. So many people get lost in like all the weird little details and supplements and just kind of miss the big picture.
Yeah.
And that was our biggest message we want to convey, is like, there's science behind this. This works for a reason, and anybody can do it. Like truly anybody can do it.
Because I think people get clouded by all the information that's out there.
Too much.
It's insane.
And everybody have different philosophies. Like Knees Over Toes guy has one philosophy. David Goggins has another philosophy.
Different.
And then people get lost in like, okay, David Goggins is training to absolute failure and running ultra marathons. He's like, and then it deters some of the people that are like, I'm new to fitness. How could I even start that?
My number one thing, if anyone asks me that's, just trying to get into fitness or care about their, health in any way, the coolest thing and way to look at it is because the toughest part is breaking that barrier of just doing the daily actions. Like the reason why you're not in good shape or in the health that you want is because you're not eating healthy every day. You're not getting good sleep. And, you've been to the gym one time in the last 2 weeks. Like, it's not that complicated.
Yeah.
And there's all these high level, ideas, but like, it really boils down to the basics that anyone can do. So I always tell, if you're just getting into it, the cool way to look at it is you can make a crazy, insane difference in 3 months of just being like bare minimum, like maybe couple days a week at the gym, like actually going and putting in good work and just eating clean and getting good sleep. And, for us to make a big change like that at this point, oh my God, like it'd be like 3 years before I can make the progress change a beginner can make in the first 3 months.
Yeah.
So like just buy in and do it,
Yeah, and I think the thing people confuse something being easy versus being simple. Like weight loss it's very simple, but it's not easy. It's not easy. But accepting that it's not easy, I think, is one of the biggest things. Like a lot of people, I mean, it's just human nature. Like you want to find the cheat code, the hack, the shortcut. And if you scroll on social media, you can find a million videos of some fad diet, some secret juice, some secret, and you can see a million like scammy ads of buy this product, buy this course, whatever. And I think once you kind of accept that it's fairly simple to lose weight, it just kind of sucks. I think that's the biggest. Like it's not fun. Horrible. It's not fun. Like that's what I explain to people all the time. It's not supposed to be easy. Like this is not supposed to be easy. Like you can't expect to lose 70 pounds and like every day it's gonna be easy. Like you just kind of have to embrace the suck. But once you can do that, like you can kind of do whatever you want.
Yeah, just like anything, whether it's podcast or getting in good shape or growing on social, like. But if you're not doing it every day, like you're not gonna.
You can spend so much time researching the best program or the best foods what food has the best nutrients or vitamins. But you got to get the basics. If you can do the basics and do it for a really long period of time, and that's the nice thing is like now that we've been lifting for 10 years, is like we've almost reached that escape velocity that we can kind of just play around and do whatever we kind of want to do since we've been doing it for so long. But you just have to get started and put in.
To build that routine, the discipline to go, okay, I can put on weight, but I also know how to lose it and not be deterred. Like if I put on 5 pounds, it's not the end of the world. Like I can lose this and not have to worry about it.
Yeah.
So it's funny to hear you guys talk about that too, because high school, I was a soccer guy. I probably walked around like 145 in high school.
Classic soccer.
Yeah, right? Just like light as a feather.
Foot fairy.
Exactly. And so then I get to school and probably walk around that same weight, maybe like 150, 155, working out over COVID. Everyone's, you can't do anything. So I was just working out in the basement. But walking to high school or college, 155-ish. And then last year, I did my biggest bulk and went from 170 because I did put on weight freshman and sophomore year. And then I went from 170 to 202, I think was my heavy. So now the thing is,
wild.
That's legit.
So then
what do you weigh right now?
So then I cut back down from 202 to 173, which is what I've been walking.
And
at
that's
170.
a crazy cut too.
I've been walking at 173 for the last year, like yearish. But luckily I had a buddy too, or there were 4 of us in our townhouse, and we all love to work out. But I had another buddy specifically. He was into the bulk and the cut because he was wanting to run the Pittsburgh Marathon. So him and I bulked together. Then we ended up cutting at the same time. Now he cut harder than I did because obviously he's training for the marathon, and I'm not going out and running 18 miles on a week. I'm like, dude, that's for you.
It's not fun.
I know. But the biggest thing that we found was like, because I did the dirty bulk, like I did the dirty college bulk, and I was just like eating stuff. So I felt
it's fun too.
It's fun, but then you're walking to class and you feel horrible.
I just to cut you off for a second. I went from 220 to 270 in 1 year. So the
dirty bulk is it's a real thing.
I can relate to that.
Yeah,
I can relate to that.
It's such a real thing, and the dirty bulk happens fast, and because it happens fast, you feel like crap so much easier. So like going to class, I'm like huffing and puffing. I'm like, are we serious right now? Like I've been a soccer guy my whole life, and I could recover in 5 seconds.
And you're doing it intentionally too. That's the thing.
Yeah.
Why am I doing this?
I can't even walk to class.
So I finally got to the point where I benched 315, and then I
wow,
that's a big bench.
So I benched 315. I was like, okay, I've maxed out right now, and I'd feel like crap. It was cool for like 5 seconds in the gym whenever I got that rep, but now I want to feel better, and so that's when the hard part is the losing weight, because you have to make sure you're eating less than your maintenance calories, which a lot of people have a hard time finding their maintenance calories because they don't, like the tracking food, people get really obsessed with because they're like, oh, this bag of Cheez-Its is 250 calories.
It's tough.
And it flew through me.
Yeah.
And it feels like nothing.
Especially coming off of eating so many
much
calories.
Yes. Yeah. And so the other part that really helped me was the cardio and the weight loss. So if I go bike for an hour, I burn, let's say 900 calories, and I can feel hungry and get that satisfaction that when I do eat again, that like it did fill me. So that cardio portion helped for me a lot. Yeah. And, we were checking my fitness pal too, but people get dangerously obsessed with the calorie tracking.
Oh my God.
And they can start going like, oh, well, I'm already at my maintenance I'm already at 1,800 calories today. And then they're like, I can't eat the rest of the day. It's like, well, now you've crushed your calories in the morning. Now you're hungry the rest of the day and you feel horrible because you're tired and lethargic and you don't want to go work out.
And then you stop and then you quit.
Yeah. And then it's just like, it's a rinse and repeat process, which is why whenever you have testimonies on your page from a bunch of your buddies and people that have actually done the program, and they can go through and see the picture and go, oh, like they did it.
100%.
Like and then to see people specifically, obviously I'm going to talk about David's weight loss a lot because 70 pounds is ridiculous.
Absurd.
And then putting on weight, like putting on 10 pounds of muscle is also just as hard.
Absolutely.
Like there's two different ways of thinking.
Two ends of the spectrum.
And people can get really deterred in that process of both.
In both sides.
And I think the tough things for a lot of people is they kind of want to do both at the same time. I think that's one of the biggest things is you might be 15 pounds overweight and not have that much muscle. So you're like, what do I do first? Do I bulk or do I cut or what do I do? So I think that's where a lot of people struggle is trying to do both at the same time. And I think that kind of comes down to a patience portion of it. Like this is a long,
like tackle what needs to happen.
Yeah. And whenever you look at, your health and fitness, like this is a lifelong approach. Like it doesn't all have to be within the next 60 days. And I think that's something that we've gotten better at realizing over the years is like, this is a lifelong approach rather than a quick 60-day fix.
No doubt.
And then you're back. And that's something I've seen when I lost 70 pounds and I realized is like once I lost the weight is like my initial maintenance calories, like whenever I started at like 285, my maintenance calories were probably 4,500.
No, they're up.
Like
they're up there when you don't realize.
Yeah, 4,500, and then I lost all the weight. Now my maintenance is like 3,000. I'm like, oh, that's like a big difference. That's a big difference.
I was like, welcome
like
to my
meals.
world a little bit. It was nice seeing him because like,
I know, because I would
flying
always,
off at first.
At first, I would just like kind of talk shit on CERN. I'm like, this isn't really that hard. Like,
I know.
Are you kidding me? Like,
I'm like, wait till you get down low and it has to
wait
be
until
like
your body fat's
2,000
actually like
calories.
15 to 14%. You're not like
because I remember when I first started, I was eating because I tracked very consistently. When I first started, I was eating at 3,500 calories. And that was a huge deficit for me.
Yeah.
3,500 calories is a huge deficit for me.
I was shedding. It's a meal and a half.
I was shedding.
Hefty for me.
Yeah, I was
like,
shedding.
That'd be like bulking.
I was shedding 2 or 3 pounds a week, eating 3,500 calories when I weighed 270.
Yeah.
And then I remember calling CERM probably a couple months ago when I was down to like 220. I was like, dude, like what is going on? Like I'm eating
I was like, here we go.
Yeah,
this is what I've been taught.
I'm eating 2,700 calories and I'm barely losing any weight.
Yeah.
And he's like, oh yeah, finally you can relate to me for once. So yeah, that's a sucky part of it.
And like you said, looking on the flip side, like just a different perspective, there's a lot of people that are trying to gain the muscle, and it's like, they've never, they can't even put down 3,500 calories, which is what you're eating to cut weight.
Yeah.
They couldn't imagine and fathom eating 3,500 calories and getting like a solid amount of protein in every single day.
That's
like,
the biggest thing that people miss out on is that protein. Like especially I will say the clean bulk is definitely, for me, the hardest discipline of dieting and fitness.
Yeah.
Because to eat all of those calories of just clean stuff can be really tiring almost. Like if you see those bodybuilders that are eating clean and like they'll just be like, I'm tired of the taste of eating the same 3 things, 4 things all the time. Yeah. Which I think is where other people get lost. They go, okay, they're eating only ground beef, they're only eating rice, they're only eating chicken and broccoli. And then they're like, well, I don't want to eat all those things all the time. It's like, you don't have to. Like there are other sources to get that nutrients from.
Yeah, definitely. And I was going to say like a big thing, whichever way you're going, trying to lose weight or gain weight, like you have to have a serious plan of like attack for it. So like if you're a guy that, you know, can't stomach eating that 3,500 calories and getting in the protein, well, you know, you're in a struggle if you're trying to do it straight through ground chicken, broccoli, and rice. Yeah. Like you're not gonna. That's a recipe for, you know, like that's not gonna work for you. Yeah. Like that's never gonna happen. So for you, like, you know, you're gonna have to boost up your fats. You know, don't eat, you know, a lean meat, like, you know, have like a salmon or a higher fat protein rather than grilled chicken every single time. Yeah. Or else every time you do that, you're just making it tough on yourself because you have to make up
because now you're like, I
elsewhere.
have to do this again.
Yeah. Like you got to boost your fats in every meal. And if all else fails, then add like a mass gainer shake and just get it done. Yeah. So like that is there's 2 ways to look at it both ways when you're losing weight or gaining weight, but you got to make it as easy on yourself. And that's why it is not a one fix all. Because you could be totally different than I am with eating. Like I can put down a lot of food. So like, you know, if I'm trying to do that, I might not have to, you know, go crazy planning to boost my fats or whatever it is. But, you know, for other people, they can't stomach putting the food. So you got to do what works for you as well, which is how it helps like with doing coaching or something like that.
And one of the things that I find I run into trouble with is like those meals. I'm a snacker. Yeah. I'm a straight up, if I'm hungry, I'm going to have a quick snack. Yeah. But then you go to eat the meal, you're like, I can't eat the rest of this because I've just ruined a quarter of this meal because I decided to eat something before this.
I found a full box of goldfish. I can't do this.
So like for someone like myself, it's figuring out how to be able to find, like if I'm going to go for a quick snack, go for trail mix or the quick thing of almonds or you know, something like that. But you know, people are like, what does that mean? I have to cut out this and this right away? It's like, no, you don't want to get into this and then start with, I have to cut all my favorite foods out. Well, now you set yourself up for just hating what you're doing the rest of the day.
And I think you can speak on this for sure. I think we are strong on never cut out your favorite foods.
Yes. And I think it's a big issue with social media, but it's so often different food groups or different foods get demonized as like just good or bad. Like a food's either good or bad. And when you're on a diet or when you're trying to clean bulk, there's a food's either good or bad, but I think you have to look at it from the big picture. Like me and you both eat what we would consider very healthy, and we can easily like go out and get ice cream or something like that. Like you don't have to be so specific of having to have chicken, white rice. Like there's just so many different foods you can eat.
You can have whatever you want.
You can have whatever you want. And I think people get so caught up in the food's either good or bad. And if it's in the good category, I can eat it. And if it's in the bad category, you can't. But like you really just have to have like 80% good foods.
It's that balance. It's finding that balance of finding what is good for you, but being like, that's why people have cheat meals. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like it's a reward system at the end of the week to say, I deserved what I eat. Like the Rock's cheat meals are insane. Yeah. But like the way that he trains himself during the week is also insane. So I think, you know, people get caught up in that, oh, I want to look like The Rock, so I have to eat like The Rock all the time. It's like, check what he did on Saturday. Like he just crushed like 8 slices of giant French toast.
And like, really throughout my whole like 70-pound weight loss, like I never ate a meal that I didn't like. Like I always ate, like you're always big on it, like find whatever vegetables you love. Like I love like find a good vegetable recipe. Like I love roasted vegetables in the oven, like broccoli, sweet potatoes with some olive oil. Like that tastes good to me. And I eat beef, broccoli, and rice 6 times a week for the past 9 months.
Yeah. Well, that's not a great example. Now you're sounding a little bit
sad. No. But that's what you like. I like it. I put a lot of buffalo sauce on it and I thoroughly enjoy it. I feel like I never eat a meal that I dislike. Like, and I don't I don't eat that much chicken. Like I eat very healthy and I don't eat that much chicken. Like that's fine. Like there's not.
Yeah, I'm sorry. You guys probably lost a little bit of the information, but when it boils down to the end of the day, eat what you want, but make sure it's, let me rephrase for me what you want. Eat what you like. And so to find those healthy things that you do like is just as important.
100%.
And it's probably the easiest time in history to, obviously maybe I shouldn't say easiest time in history to lose weight, but there's
information available.
There's so much information and there's so many fun protein snacks that you can eat.
Yeah.
Oh, some of the protein smoothies that I see people make, they're adding in like, peanut butter, bananas, like they're adding in stuff that when it's together, it tastes great. And so when the traditional bodybuilders and everybody talk about what they did, I mean, those guys were hard as nails in diet. Like if you go listen to what how they trained and how they used to eat, like it was just this regiment because they were taught one thing and they stuck with it. Whereas now we have the information available to go to look and find different things.
And right before this, we split a protein brownie. Like you can eat a million different ways to hit your macros and still enjoy the food you eat.
The thing is really just finding the balance of what works for you personally, like what can you maintain over a long portion of time, because as Dave said earlier, it's not about like, oh, like let me do this for 30 days. Like no, you want to fall in love with actually taking care of your body, whether it's in the gym or what you're eating, your sleep, like, so you have to find that right balance for yourself.
Yeah, so I don't want to interrupt you real fast. So to walk me through those activities that you guys are doing that are super vital to the weight loss or the weight gain, like what are for you? Yeah, like what are your
so the way that we laid it out in our diet, we laid it out through the 3 buckets. So we have
as simple as possible. Dumb it down.
3 buckets that you take care of every single day. We have sleep, activity, and food, and we can go through each bucket. But to start with the activity, I think steps are the easiest way to track your activity for weight loss throughout any given day. You can either you have a smartwatch or you can get a $10 pedometer. Is that what it's called? A pedometer?
I don't even know.
Something to track your steps.
Something to track your steps on Amazon. But that's like the easiest way for me. Like I track my steps every day.
Guys are fiend with the steps. Fiend.
I love my steps. But it's just the easiest way to track every day, and like anything counts toward your steps. If you're going to the grocery store, if you're going for a walk, there's a million ways. You don't have to necessarily find some structured running program that you have to do. You can just
you don't have to do anything extreme or extra. Is the main point.
Just find a way to get 8,000 steps throughout the day. Get a walking treadmill. Go for a walk at lunch. Just find some way to add in activity throughout your day.
And what's the conversions over the course of a year? I know you definitely don't know it off the head, but basically, like if you do some conversion on how many calories you burn from 8,000 steps a day or whatever, I mean, it accumulates to over a year.
Like the
50,
the average American walks 3,500 steps per day. If you bump that up to 8,000 steps per day, it's like an extra like 20 pounds weight loss a year.
That you're losing.
3,500 is a little amount.
Yeah, but that's the average. Like if
you really,
people don't realize.
If you work a desk job, like you don't. A lot of times, like if you're living.
You're about to enter the workforce.
No, I saw my steps the other day from because I've been studying a lot, and so my steps have been wake up, walk to my desk, study for 3 hours, get up, like I'll go work out. So luckily I do have that. But even to the gym and back in another study session, I'll probably end the day with like 4,000 calories like that. Yeah. And I knew that was little, but I didn't know that was the average.
Yeah. I mean, if you work a 9-to-5 job, like you wake up, make your breakfast. You don't walk to work. You drive to work. You sit at a desk all day. Maybe you go for.
You might not even work out over the course of the day. You might not even work.
And even if you do, even if you lift, you might even go and lift. Like you don't necessarily walk a lot when you lift.
Especially in a public gym, a lot of the time you're sitting at your station, finishing your reps, and then walking to another station and sitting.
Then you walk to your car after the lift,
and that's
it's very easily it could be 4,000 steps.
Yeah, if you don't hit that, you're like a bike even like just that extra bit of there's no way you could get the steps that you want.
Exactly. So I always just try to find little ways throughout my day to get in steps. So it's just I always park in the back of the parking lot, or I go for a walk every day at lunch during work. I just find easy ways to move throughout your day that really adds up over the course of a year.
Mm-hmm. I think that's a good way to think about it too, because I think when people go, I have to get like 4,000 or 5,000 more steps, that takes time.
Yeah.
And so for
your initial thought is, oh, I have to carve out 40 minutes a day to do extra walking, but it's like, oh, maybe 10 minutes at lunch, maybe you park in the back of the parking lot, maybe you climb the stairs at work.
Yeah.
Like there's little ways that you can sneak
That's
those
what I'm saying. Like
out.
to do that extra little stuff, like don't take the elevator if you're on the 5th floor. Like you take those up the steps. I mean, it's gonna suck because you could just take the elevator.
Yeah.
But now when you're done with work, you're gonna be like, oh, I only have like 2,000 more. 2,000 more steps to go.
And that's what we mentioned, the daily actions. Like now, like I just naturally walk more throughout my day. I don't even think about it. It's
you gotta habitize it.
Yeah, it's a habit. It's
and
a
same
habit.
thing on the flip end, if you're trying to gain weight, not lose weight, well, did you habitize working out? Like, get that activity in every day. Like, are you going to the gym? Are you actually going to the gym every day and getting a good session in? So that's definitely like the first like main emphasis that we have. And that's, that's easy to monitor, but it's good to find something like that you can actually track to keep yourself honest. And then you can continue with the
other buckets.
Yeah, so the activity bucket we just talked about, then I think we'd go into the food bucket. So our main thing is we didn't want to create a program that was around tracking calories because
I did see that on your website.
Yeah, and you can do that. Like I did that. Like whenever I lost a ton of weight, like I tracked calories, but that's just not for everybody. And like I realized that for most people,
you can do that if you want to.
For most people, they do not want to sit there and weigh out every single thing they eat.
It is. There's a lot of tasks that are involved.
Yeah, there's a lot. It's a higher barrier.
Even
to
the
entry.
mental portion, you said some people get obsessive over it.
You need to have a food scale. You need to track everything. You need to make sure you're tracking right. Like if you've never tracked before, it's not easy to track. Like what percent lean meat am I eating? Like that could be if you track like a 70 lean meat versus like a 93 lean meat, you're going to get a
totally different
400, 500 calorie difference. So we wanted to create a program that was designed around not tracking calories. So our main thing was starting off with the fruits and veggies. Fruits and veggies are the absolute cheat code for losing weight because there's so much volume and so little calories. They're filled with so much water. And the biggest struggle with weight loss is the feeling of restriction. And with fruits and veggies is you can pretty much pound those things and you'll be good for a long time. Maybe not always fruit. You could go a little overboard in fruit, but veggies, I mean, you could eat a pound of broccoli and it's what? 400 calories.
Yeah.
Like you're never going to go over your calories with vegetables. So that was,
and you get so much more volume.
You get so much volume.
So like
that's what you're saying with the restriction.
Yeah.
I feel like I'm restricted to this little amount.
Yeah.
But that's the give and take. If you don't like any vegetables or fruits, you can do a cup of rice. It's the same amount of calories. But if you want a more volume diet and you might maybe feel a little bit more full, you can either have this cup of rice or you can have like 3 cups of broccoli or whatever.
And I was such a picky eater as a kid. I was such a picky eater. And I do not believe that. I think everyone can find a vegetable in some way, cooked in some way, or fruit that you like. There's some option out there that you can eat every single day, enjoy, and it's a high volume food with low calories, and just find what works for you. There's a million options. I love roasted vegetables in the oven. You get a ton of volume. Tastes really good. So just find whatever works for you. You love eating vegetables. You eat a ton of vegetables.
Yeah,
and you get to
fruits,
eat,
crush them,
crush fruits.
And that's the main way that us two like to lose weight. Because like I said, I can crush a ton of food. So like when I'm on a cut, I can't do just like the cup of rice. Like, no, I need to go crazy with a huge side of whatever it is, whatever fruit or vegetable.
Yeah. And I mean, once you start, that's kind of how we envision building a plate. You start with a big portion of fruits and veggies, and we just say, go ham on it. Go eat as much as you want. You really can't overeat on fruits and veggies. Maybe if you're at a very strict, you're at a low body fat, maybe you have to track your fruits and veggies a little bit. But for most people, when you're just starting off, that's a great starting point. And then you just have to find a lean meat that you like. And then I think, again, there's so many options for lean meat. Like it does not have to be a dry chicken breast.
Oh, no.
I rarely eat chicken breast, and I lost a ton of pounds. Like I love 93 ground beef. Like
ground beef is great.
You can crush it, or like shrimp, or like find a fish that works for you. Like there's so many different options. And I think people get stuck around trying to find like the perfect diet or like the perfect meal. And I know I did, especially at the beginning. I'm like, I have to find like what is the most optimal meal that I can eat that's perfect to lose the weight. But it's like you just have to find what works for you. Yeah. And me and you both we eat similar concepts, but we eat very different foods on a day-to-day basis. And there's no right answer.
No.
And I think whenever you're scrolling on social media, you can see all these like influencer meals and all these crazy ingredients and like there's a million different things. And it's like there's no right answer. Just find works for you that you can stick with over time, and just try to find something you can enjoy.
Yeah. Speaking of the like the influencer meals, stuff like Factor or what's the other food delivery service?
There's several.
There's
different
so
that are
many,
out
but
there
they
now.
deliver the
Obviously,
all the healthy.
HelloFresh.
Yeah.
HelloFresh.
So those are great because it's convenient. But then when people are trying to build that routine of weight loss or putting on weight, they get stuck with they're confined to what Factor or those meal plans have given them because they're like, okay, they gave me this, it's prescribed to me, but is it really? Like that's now they've eaten it and they go, okay, I'm done. But whereas, you know, if they take the time to find things that they like in the beginning, and find the volume, if they're a volume eater, if they're kind of like the person that just wants to do like a little amount of calories but a lot of protein, like that you can find those things, but you have to experiment with yourself first.
And I'm huge. I know
it's
it sounds
sustainable when you do that.
and I know it sounds like extreme, but I'm huge on the meal prepping. Find a simple meal that you like and that you can meal prep every single week. And like you take a different approach. You don't meal prep, I do meal prep.
Yeah.
But for me, it works. So like I'm gonna stick with it. And I think you can look on Instagram and TikTok and find so many meal prep recipes that are so complex and take like 3 hours that you're not gonna do every single week. Like when I do my meal prep of beef, broccoli, and rice, like I said, I eat it 6 meals a week. It takes me 1 hour. It takes me 1 hour on a Sunday to have 6 great meals for the whole entire week. And it's super easy. But whenever I first started my weight loss, I was trying these like super elaborate recipes with all these different sauces and sides that you would see on Instagram.
Yeah.
It's like that. It's not realistic for me to have a 30 ingredient recipe that takes me 4 hours to make, and I have to do that every week. That's just not going to work.
We're too busy for that. I mean, I won't make a meal unless it's about 5 minutes. Like if it's gonna require more than about 5-10 minutes of my time, I'm not having it. And that might make me a more bland eater, but I'm not doing it.
But if you can have 1 hour a week for 6 meals, I think that is it's worthy trade-off.
Oh, that's super
worthy
trade-off.
Worthy trade-off.
So how about for people then like yourself? So what does your diet look like then with no meal prep? Like what are you, whenever you're going through the day, what is it like? Is it protein bars? Is it like,
it's super basic. Like let's say if I was on like a weight loss, now I spam these same meals
to get it done
forever. Not even to get it done. Like I just like I plan out whatever phase I'm going. If I'm trying to gain weight or lose weight, I basically plan out all the meals that have that allow me to meet those goals. And I just, like I said, I'm least effort. So I will make a meal that I enjoy to eat every single day. And I will have that same breakfast every single day for like the next like month. And I'll have like the same dinner. Maybe I'll switch up like the protein or something like that, but it's the exact same dinner every single time. During the workday, it's literally just a protein shake or a couple protein bars. Yeah. And that's what works for me.
And I think a lot of people hate on it until they try it. Like they might hear that like, oh, that's way too extreme. Like I can never do that.
Like I love the meal. Like my breakfast is like my favorite breakfast. And my dinner is like my favorite dinner.
And I'll eat it every day. Once you get into that routine, it's just what you do. It's just what you do. You don't think twice about it. No. You don't have to think. And that's another big thing, whether you're trying to lose weight or gain weight, is you don't want to have to sit there for 2 hours a day trying to figure out what you want to eat. Like you don't have to even think about it.
Yeah. But that's my thing. Like I don't have time to spend like a half hour on making breakfast or dinner. Like, you know, I just like to do something real quick so I can keep it rolling and then that's it.
Once you start eating healthy, you almost build up a repertoire of recipes that you like and you know are quick. Like you could name 10 recipes off the top of your head that are super quick
that are all
and
that
you can churn out.
100%.
And that's not something that you have immediately once you start losing weight, but you find one meal that works.
You build a bag of tricks.
Yeah, then you find another meal. Then you find another meal. And then over time, you have 10 great meals.
Yeah.
And I remember that was something that I struggled with when I first started losing weight and I think a lot of people might struggle with the same thing, is you want to like find like a master plan. Like you want to find 10 different meals. You're like, okay, I have to lay down all my lunches, all my breakfasts, but like just start with one thing. Find a breakfast that works for you. Find a good, healthy breakfast. Eat that for a couple weeks. Continue to eat your other meals. And then maybe a month later, you find a healthy lunch that works for you. And then you just like slowly build it up. I think one of the main things is just, at least a person like me would struggle with trying to be perfect right from the get-go. And then if one little thing goes wrong, I'm like, oh, screw it. The whole thing's messed up. But when you just start with the small basics and you can just build habits over time, that's how you build stuff that lasts a lifestyle.
That's why we call it the automatic diet. Because like by the time that you really, build those habits, I mean, it just becomes automatic. Like at this point, like we're too far along. Like we've done it for, like we said, 10 years, the eating healthy and the working out. Now it's just second nature to us for stuff like that.
Yeah.
And that's the goal, doing something sustainable that works for you, individually, that you can actually realistically do for a long period of time.
And don't, whenever you start, you don't have to have it all figured out.
No,
you do not have
no.
to have it all
just
figured out.
add, tricks to your bag as you go. And eventually, you'll have built a good foundation for yourself.
Yeah. I think the word, whenever it comes to weight loss or weight gain, even the word add to is better to use than take out.
Yeah.
Because
for sure.
Like it's that you don't, like I'll keep saying it again and again, but the takeout sets that tone of now I have to stick with it, and if I go away from it, now I've lost.
Yeah, and that's what we're saying with the
yourself.
restriction. Like that's the hardest thing is the restriction. That's like whenever we try to preach fruits and vegetables, it's like add in as much fruits and vegetables as you want, because it just mentally it's easier to cope with adding in a lot of vegetables rather than just restrict, less.
That's why we're so anti-restrict. Like, and even like, and if it is something like, okay, I want to have mac and cheese tonight for dinner and whatever, whatever your craving is, like if you just take a second to plan it, you can go to the store and find something to make that fall into
a
matching with the goals that you're trying to reach. So that's like the thing that we always preach is like, it might take a second to plan, but if you have a plan of attack, and then you can really eat whatever you want, because, if you put the time to make it match your goals, you're good. Like you'll be able to find the replacement for your mac and cheese or your ice cream craving or whatever that craving is.
Mm-hmm. And like a couple of weeks ago, that's a good example with like the mac and cheese of like finding a healthy alternative. A couple of weeks ago, I was at home with my family on a Friday and we were thinking about ordering pizza. And then I was like, oh, like they have a bunch of like healthy, like protein pizzas at Walmart. Like, why don't we just try one of those? So it takes,
Dream crust.
But that's like a 5-minute decision that you have to make of, do I order a pizza from Domino's, or maybe I drive to Walmart and pick up a protein pizza that could save me 1,000 calories. Like those are just the small little things that you have to start thinking about.
Yeah. I said that like tastes the same too. At the end of the day, you don't feel like dog after.
People are like, they want to find all the protein stuff. It's like, you can, like mom will get this protein cereal sometimes and it's like, okay, did not like that one. But that doesn't mean that all protein cereal is out of the window.
Something else.
You can find something else, which is why I think it's funny that, and good that you guys do the protein bar reviews. It's because like people might find like the Fit Crunch. Like I like the Fit Crunch bars.
Yeah. Is that your top bar?
I mean, it's easy.
Give us your top bar. Give us your top bar.
Top bar. I mean, I haven't tried very many, but I would have to go Fit Crunch because that was what was in our fuel lounge at school for athletes.
Nice. That's a good thing to have in there. That's impressive.
He's
That's
a Fit Crunch fan.
Yeah.
But like my mom, like she used to get the RX bars.
Okay.
So like that's when I do not like the RX bars.
I've been getting a lot of comments to try the RX bars, and I haven't.
Really?
Oh yeah.
Don't even bother.
It's like they somehow formed egg whites into a shell and like filled it with almonds. Like that's like it, but like it's the most natural form of something you can get. But it's just like,
if you don't like that, then move on.
It doesn't mean that all protein bars are bad. It doesn't mean to go get like a chewy Quaker Valley bar that's, it's full of sugars and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But like I think like the one that was your top bar that you just did, it was like cake batter, and I was like,
the David.
I was like, that's an insane name for a protein bar.
Yeah. Like you could, like this week for breakfast, like one of the days, like I didn't have a breakfast ready to go at home, so like I went to Sheetz and just grabbed 2 Bear Bells, and like I had a healthy breakfast. Okay, sure, there's like some more artificial ingredients in it, but I just had 400 calories, 40 grams of protein from 2 protein bars that taste like candy bars. Like you can't tell me that is not accessible to everybody. Like that's a very accessible
But like
thing.
on the flip side, you could have easily gone to Starbucks and grabbed like a latte and whatever. And
like I picked
chocolate croissant.
Yeah, like I chalked your day right there.
I picked those up from Sheetz, and I could have easily gone to like the Sheetz tablet and ordered like
a breakfast burrito or something
breakfast
like that.
burrito. That's 1,000 calories.
Tastes good,
but like again, that's like a split 2-minute decision.
What do you want?
You just have to make a 2-minute decision whether which road you want to go down. And that's like for me, like we built up the habits where like that was just an automatic decision that I was going to go for the protein bars rather than eating some Sheetz MTO that's 1,000 calories.
Definitely.
And the more you build up the habit of making that decision, the easier it becomes.
Definitely.
Yeah, the habits are the most important part because if you do it for so long and you go, oh, it's starting to become natural in my routine, you start thinking less about, oh, let me turn around and go get this thing that I haven't had in 5 days.
Yeah.
But let me just go over to what my brain is conditioned for in sheets and just walk straight to the to the protein bars rather than straight to the MTO.
Yeah,
it's like
exactly.
building that subtle routine in your day.
Definitely. And when it comes to like our social media, that's what we try to preach through anything that we post. Like, and we try to make it fun, you know, for the viewers for sure. But you know, whether it's protein bars, we both love protein bars, energy drinks, you know, so we make a fun little series about that. Same with all of our challenges. Like, you know, we talked about Dave's a step fiend. So like, you know, leading up to Christmas, we did 2 challenges. It was 25 days of Murphmas, little theme. And it was 20,000 steps every single day for 25 straight days.
Which 20,000 is like 4 hours total of
It's
walking.
a lot of walking.
And we've been talking about Ian Super Healthy. His bit on that was to make it kind of fun is he kind of burn off whatever he ate. So he would go to Denny's, for example.
Yeah.
I mean, he went to Wendy's one day, ordered a Frosty at like 4 a.m. or something like that. And, you know, finish his 20,000 steps.
Yeah.
So, you know, we just try to make it fun on the social media side. But for the topics that we truly are trying to get across.
And one side note is the nice thing about like once you build up a really good exercise routine, whether it's like running or lifting, is you can start to incorporate even more fun foods in your routine. Like if you go for
when
like
you're putting the activity.
if you go for like a 5-mile run, like you can go eat like Wendy's. Like you're totally fine. And I think sometimes people get, you know, fast food is like so demonized. We're like, you could never eat fast food, but if you have a good balance and you're working out hard, like you can easily work that stuff in your diet.
You don't have to be perfect all the time.
You do not.
You
have
can
to
go
be
to a fast
perfect.
food place like Wendy's and get, let's just say like instead of like the Dave's Triple, like you can just go get like the chicken sandwich, which is obviously going to be a little bit leaner for you, and it's not that giant grease ball that's going to make you feel like crap after.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? So
and like I mentioned earlier, is people just get so obsessed with either a food is good or bad, but there's no good or bad foods. It's all on a spectrum, and you can easily you can go to Wendy's and get a good meal. You can very much go to Wendy's and you don't have to. You could be sitting in your car after the meal. You don't have to be like hard on yourself. You're like, oh, I failed. I ate Wendy's.
Killing yourself.
Yeah, like the week's done. The week's
Calm
done.
down.
There's so many creative ways, and the more ownership you take of it, and trying to be more creative with it is almost the more fun you can have, and the more kind of diet hacks you can play around with this.
Yeah, you don't have to
what
be a
works for you.
perfectionist
No,
about
not at all.
everything.
Yeah. So going into your social media, what are some of your favorite challenges that you guys have done?
We've done a
just,
lot.
I know you guys just crush yourselves with the smoothie like every day.
Yeah, so
Or, like, only
if we're
smoothie
talking
diet or
about
whatever.
those, so I did 5 straight days of strictly protein shakes.
Yeah.
So it was like a max out challenge. Nothing, and like our friends will ask us sometimes when we do a challenge, we are true to we do not cheat it in any way. So like my rules for that was like absolutely nothing other than protein shakes, and I couldn't just blend stuff together and drink it. Like it had to have at least 20 grams of protein in it per shake.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was 5 days of strictly protein shakes. And I think mine was honestly better than Dave's. Dave did 9 days of straight protein bars.
9 days straight of protein bars, 71 protein bars total. I enjoyed it. I love protein bars. I love protein bars.
We're both protein bar fiends.
We both love protein bars. So we got to try like a whole bunch of different flavors and like do a whole like power rankings of all the 71 bars I tried. But even then, it's like I still ate relatively healthy.
Like if you're looking at macro wise.
By macros, I mean I got a lot of heat. In the comments saying like I'm destroying my body and stuff. But it's like even then, like, I'm gonna have a heart attack. I'm gonna die. Like this is why Americans are.
And I was also texting him like, "Are you good? Is this day 9?
Yeah.
Obviously,
did you wake up today?
Yeah. Are you
Obviously,
good? Just checking in on you, Dave.
That's an extreme example, but like there's still ways that you can eat ridiculous things and make it work.
That's a bad example.
Okay, that's a bad example.
An extreme
That's a very
this is very extreme. It's only protein bars for 9 days.
And we do very extreme things like the 25 straight days of like the 20,000 steps. Like, you know, he's working a full-time job. Like you have to be walking 24, like at any moment that you have not working,
and
you better be walking to chalk.
And that was in December in Pittsburgh, and the weather was not nice. So there was a lot of gritty runs in the dark and walking when it's 20 degrees out. So that was one of the hardest challenges. Yeah. But even that was a fun challenge just to see what we were capable of. And then that was a challenge where at first I thought it might not physically be possible because I was doing 20,000 steps a day, and every other day I was running those. So I would do running 10 miles every single day. Obviously, I'm a former offensive lineman. I'm not a runner. Like, Like
even editing the videos and stuff in between, that's a lot too.
But even that challenge proved that it was more of a mental mindset thing rather than a physical limitation. That was like my biggest takeaway from that challenge. Like, yeah, you can do 20,000 steps a day. Like, you're gonna be fine. Like, obviously, you wouldn't do that for an extended period of time, but like you can push your body to do something kind of crazy and kind of extreme within a short period of time, and you're gonna be okay.
Yeah, 100%. And we did that for no reason, honestly.
Yeah,
like we were just like, Dave was like, dude, let's do a challenge this month. You know, we were doing a bunch of little challenges. We're like, let's do like a longer challenge. Let's do a 25-day. We're like, let's do it leading up to Christmas, so we can have fun over the holidays. Yeah. And I was like, he was all into the steps, so he did that. And then I did a Murph every single day, which is
an insane.
I've done. Memorial Day is coming up, so
give a description. Of
Murph. So it's a mile run, and you're clocking your fastest time possible to complete it. People would do it with like a weighted vest. I didn't have a weighted vest, so I just did it regularly. Sorry, but it was a mile run. You do 100 pull-ups, 200 push-ups, 300 air squats. You break those into X amount of sets. I would do either 10 or 20 sets. And then you finish with a mile run. And there's no pausing at all during that. Like, you're going into
because you want your time.
And I was going fastest time every single time pretty much. So, like, my body was absolutely cooked. We were actually talking about this the other day.
What do you think's worse?
Yeah, what do you think's worse?
Of the challenges?
Yeah, of those two challenges.
We did them at the same time.
This was a big controversy.
Pretty much most of our followers said that his was worse. Said that the Murphs
now you're
were.
being mad.
That's
like chase talk.
So I've done Murphs. I went on a trip to Europe and where we walked 20,000 steps a day because we were backpacking along the whole thing. So like I understand the aspects of both. The 20,000 is hard in terms of making sure that you have the time to be able to walk the 20,000.
Great answer.
Yeah. And then the Murph is hard to being able to make sure that you physically can wake up every day and do it in under like an hour every time.
Yeah.
And so I think for me, my hardest would probably be the time in the 20,000.
Yeah.
Because I can get through a Murph.
It's a quick
workout. But my issue with the Murph is then being able to do it every single day. But for me, that time, like everybody's day is changing. You got different things planned. So you can't 20,000. You can't build a routine every day.
No,
you don't. You can't shrink that down. You can't shrink down 20,000 steps. No. That's the same thing we say whenever me and CERN were debating it back and forth. We're like, your workouts are a lot harder than mine, but you need to build out a lot of time to do 20,000 steps.
At least mine's like an hour. It can like almost be a replacement for your workout of the day versus like you gotta go all day.
No, he's like, I got 4 more hours to walk.
I mean, there was days where I was like, okay, wake up at 6 a.m. Like, here we go, start walking, and you're not finishing till 10 o'clock at night.
And like we have regular lives too, so like 25 straight days was a lot for us. Like I was telling this, like one day for the Murph challenge, because I went to the Indiana Notre Dame playoff game.
Yeah.
So this is one of my favorite parts of the Murph challenge. I flew into South Bend. I got an Uber straight from the airport to a YMCA, knocked out a Murph, went over, boozed for the whole entire night, got really messed up. Woke up the next day, Uber over to Notre Dame's campus. I'm in all Indiana gear, and I research before, outside their ROTC building, they had a pull-up bar.
Yeah.
So I did all the reps, and then I did, the miles around campus, so on Notre Dame's campus, and I'm wearing my Indiana stuff, gear. And I'm running around every single pack of green that I can see. Yeah. And I'm chirping the Irish.
Yeah.
Dude, it was absolutely awesome.
Yeah.
But like, we were just like, we were both going strong with the 25 days. We're like, you just got to fit it in.
And some people, we would get like questions or comments about like, are we working a full-time job during this? Are we both like, working a full-time job during these challenges?
Yeah, we're fitting this in around.
Yes.
Yeah. So I'm going to start and stop this again real fast.
Yeah. God.
We can go forever.
I do like the challenge. I do like the challenge talks though.
Yeah.
The challenges are great too, because when we dip into the social media side now, that you can now do your fitness journey, but then actually engage with people outside of your fitness journey. Like it's really nice to have
100%.
Have another person to do these challenges with.
Yeah.
I think that's where people also get lost is whenever they do them by themselves, they're no longer held accountable by themselves. Where if you're checking in every day, now Dave's got to go. Now I got to walk my steps today. Or like he's like, I already did my Murph at 5 o'clock in the morning. He's like, what'd you do today? It's like, okay, now I have to do my stuff.
And that's the whole message of our whole entire thing. Like Natty Neighbors, like, you know, we want it to be like a community of people that, you know, care about, like to push themselves, you know, like to, you know, chase their goals in the health and fitness space, which that's why we like to test our limits sometimes, just to show like, you know, you can go and get a workout and say, you can go hit the gym 3 times this week and make it happen for yourself.
Yeah. I think that would be too cool to build a community in your comments of like people that are like, I did this today, and then have people underneath them that would like, be great, I did this today. And so now they're like, okay, now there's for the athletes, there's like competition, or for the people that are just starting, there's like, oh, there's another person in the section that has just started the same journey that I'm on.
Definitely.
And so you can build that type of community. Now, the only thing that I'm sure you guys run into in terms of comments is, you know, when you run into the people that are like, what are you doing? Like, this sucks. Like, you get all the hate comments too. Like, we do too.
We love it.
I feel like I get the most hate comments sometimes on my bench videos. Like, I have good bench technique, and I'll get some like weird comments like you're gonna blow out your chest or
the
something.
bench of the heaviest from the heaviest celebrities.
Yeah, like I have like a 345 clean bench, and I'm getting hate in the comments.
Well, like dating your pause.
Yeah. I was like,
one comments like that does not count. Like his back was arched, which like if you know anything about benching, like your back is
to be an
arch
because you're benching off your shoulders.
Yeah,
you're not
your
benching
butt
off
and
your
shoulders
butt.
are dug into the bench, and like you'd see like them go back from. They're like, I think you're supposed to arch your back, and he's like, no, you're not. Like they're going down. It's so funny to see. Like we love any of the comments, regardless of it's whatever it is. If they take a second to comment, we love it.
Yeah, at the end of the day, it's engagement, but. Like that, I like the hate comments too because they're funny. Like one dude was like, "Good thing human nature is nosy and curious, or your podcast wouldn't succeed." I was like, "Thanks," because you've now just engaged with my content. Like that's great.
That's funny.
Yeah,
I appreciate.
Yeah, I appreciate that.
Thank you for taking a moment out.
At least that's a little creative. At least
those are creative. The ones that are like, he was like, they should make podcast equipment like more expensive or something like that. It's like, dude, I've seen that 100 times on TikTok. I've seen like they are funny, but it's like, dude, let's be a little bit more original. Like I've been chirped on the field too before, and it's fun to get new ones. But definitely. Just in regards of building a community, it'll be hard to weed out those people that are like, oh, it's like I did this today, and then they'd be like, you know. That's horrible for you, and then they get discouraged. But like
that's where we go back to the beginning of the conversation. Everyone has their different opinions. It's whatever. You know what? I think a lot of the hate comments, maybe more than usual for us, is about these protein our takes on certain protein bars
with like taste and which ones are good.
Are you an idiot? Like you're an MF and
like this is objectively wrong.
Dude, like this is the worst list I've ever seen. Like you're an idiot. Like die.
Never rate again.
Yeah, never rate again. Like they're spamming, and it's so funny to see, honestly. And what does me?
Your energy drink bracket probably got the most hate.
Run through like your top, run through the top 5 again, and I want to see if they would make sense or not. Like
the top 5 energy drinks.
Yeah, that you had.
So I ranked like the brands as a whole.
Rather than the flavors. Now, like we're getting into like the flavors and stuff too, and I have a top 5 flavors. But like if I was talking about just energy drink brands, like Reign and Ghost are the top dogs. I feel
those are the 2 top dogs.
Can you talk about Monster, the White Monster?
So that was the biggest hate one. I'm not a crazy fan of Monster.
There's a trend right now.
To me, it's a huge trend. And like, if we're talking about Monster or, you know, Red Bull, those are kind of PTSD purchases for me. Like, if I'm thinking about it, it kind of reminds me of like, if you go to the liquor store and you see like a Zvedka bottle.
You remember what happened with that?
Dude, when I was a sophomore in high school, like I would never touch that again. You know, that's a little bit how I personally feel about Monster and Red Bull.
Yeah.
I said that about Monster, and these guys about White Monster. Like everyone needs to voice their opinion. White Monster's the best, dude. You're an idiot. I'm like, okay. Like I don't think the Monster brand is that great with the energy drinks. White Monster is good, and that new like 0 sugar like line that they have. I forget what the 2 other flavors are actually pretty good. But like Reign and Ghost for me are definitely the top 2.
Yeah.
Definitely the top 2.
I would agree with those. Rain is really good also because I think that's Thor, right? Bjornsson. Do you know like his story? Is he
that
the owner?
his
Is he behind Rain?
I think it.
I didn't
he
know
used-
that.
I didn't know that.
I
think
didn't know
it's
that he
him.
was.
I think it's him.
Yeah.
I could
I'll
get
have to
blown
check
up the
that.
That'd be
comments after
impressive
this.
because that's a big brand. If he started that up, that's
I think
impressive.
Can your video guy pull that up?
yeah. Just myself over here. But yeah, the Rain and Ghost in terms of getting that pre-workout like energy drinking, I think those are the best.
I agree. I think just best tasting. My one thing about like Rain and Ghost, you'll see a lot of guys. You're starting to work sometime soon here. You just graduated. They'll be walking in with their energy
and to
drinks.
work with it.
The only thing is like the can feels weird.
Which one?
Walking around in some of the
Both?
energy drink cans.
Yeah.
I always joke
Alani?
around this with my buddy, like Lonnie. But like they'll come in with the energy drinks. It kind of looks weird in the professional world.
Yeah,
a
no,
little
it's like
bit.
there's
Like
a difference
that.
between coming in with a
cans-
coffee versus
yeah.
coming in with a Ghost that's like Sour Patch Kid
Exactly.
like on the side.
It's like, this is a little bit messed up. The Celsius look a little bit more clean. I don't love Celsius, but like if I was ever walking to work, I'm probably not going to walk in with like a, blue Sour Patch Kid Ghost energy drink. I think like my boss kind of look at me like,
I walked into my corporate job like a month ago with a Ghost Swedish Fish and I got chirped. Somebody chirped me
such
for
a good flavor though.
It
It
is
is a great flavor.
It is a great flavor.
Yeah, it's a great flavor. Yeah, but in terms, so I wean myself off of pre-workout just a little bit because it is
That's a good thing.
It is an extraordinary amount of caffeine.
Yeah.
And I think that's where people are like caffeine's bad for you. It's like, okay, we go back to the good and bad. It's like, if I'm going to drink caffeine, it is going to be for a purpose. Like for me, like I'll drink a coffee in the morning sometimes, but it's like 60 milligrams of caffeine. If I'm gonna have that big of an amount from a Ghost or a Rain, it's like I have to go do something physical for it in my head for it to be productive.
Wait till you start working the 9 to 5.
And then you're like, bro, yeah.
That is funny though, because like we said, like there's always a balance, like good and bad. But I got chirped by somebody like 2 weeks ago. I was drinking a Rain, like 300 milligrams. Like, yeah, it's a lot of caffeine. They're like, oh, that is terrible for you. Like, you cannot be having that much caffeine. And I was like, I ran like 20 miles this week. Like, I think I'm like, all right, in like the grand picture. Like, I understand what they're saying, but like, there's so much of a balance. Like, it's just not black and white.
That's that
like
give
some
and take.
people
Yeah, they'll be
think.
like, wait, and like, the guys know that we're super into all the fitness stuff. They'll be like, wait, isn't that like that's not like a very natural, like, there's a lot of chemicals and stuff. And I'm like, yeah, like this is one of those give and take things for me.
Yeah.
I'm gonna let myself have this.
I'm gonna have this one.
A Murph for 25 days straight. Like
Yeah,
this
I
month, like,
went to the
I'm
gym every
good.
morning.
Yeah,
every
like
day this morning.
I'll sacrifice that for this. My number one energy drink is White Gummy Rain though. That's my go-to, and I love some of the Ghost flavors. Like the Swedish Fish is awesome. I love the Sour Patch Ghost flavors. So those are definitely my 2 top brands.
Yeah, the ones that I can't get behind, I'll never get behind Rockstar. It tastes like battery acid.
No,
never
I
get
don't even know how they
behind
still
Rockstar.
sell that. I don't know
Oh
who
my
buys
God.
that.
I don't get it at
I wouldn't
all.
even grab. Like,
So
I
did
would
you
never,
do that? Was
never
Rockstar part of
purchase
your
that. It wasn't
challenge
part
too?
of the bracket, but I've had Rockstar and like I've done a review for Rockstar before. Actually I haven't posted it, but I've done Rockstar. Not good. I would never go back to Rockstar.
Yeah, it just tastes like battery acid. Our school sell them, and we got one because we're out of pre-workout. It's like we'll just get an energy drink. So it was like that, or I think it was just Rockstar because they did sell Bang Energy.
Our school was the same. They only sold like in the cafeterias. I think it was Rockstar and Bang. Like, those were the options.
Yeah. So we got a Rockstar, and I actually made it like 3 sips into the thing. I was like, dude, this is like this is real battery acid. Right
and
now.
I love energy drinks. So if I can't make it through an energy drink, like
that
is
bad.
a bottom
It's
feeder
bad.
right there.
Yeah.
I'm an easy one to win on the energy drinks.
Are you?
And protein bars.
Yeah, I'm the same way. Yeah.
It was cool. Like, so for like the protein bars, like a lot of brands like sent, some protein bars for us to try. Which like that part of it is super cool. Like, especially like some smaller brands like shooting us their product, taking the time out of their day to send something to us, and just because we love the protein bars and energy drinks, so to give it a try is always super cool.
Yeah, there was some
It's
unique
cool you
ones.
come across and work with.
The one dangerous protein bar that we tried, it was like a little small startup company sent it to us, but it had 100 milligrams of caffeine in a protein bar. And it was the first protein bar I've ever seen that has 100 milligrams of caffeine. It's called the Bold Bar, and it's actually very good. You would
Really?
have no idea. You'd have no idea.
Really?
No idea.
You just like unwrapped it, gave it to someone, they'd be like, I got a weird boost of energy, but
Yeah, it tastes completely normal. Like there was no artificial sugars at all. It was just sweetened by honey, and I had one for breakfast every day for the whole 14 days stash that they sent us. Like, it was incredible.
I might have to do that then, because coffee for me is like kind of hit or miss. I'm still trying to figure out the corporate coffee part to look professional.
Yeah.
So I prefer my energy drinks too. I like the sweetness of and like the candy flavors too. But
Definitely.
to just have also to get your metabolism going with some food in the morning too. Just to
And it
have
was kind of
one
nice.
those.
Like, whenever I ate that protein bar, like, it was only 100 milligrams of caffeine, but I was like, I'm not going to drink an energy drink on top of that already. So it kind of helped me curb my energy drink addiction there for a couple weeks while supplies last, and then I was right back.
Exactly.
Energy drink after that.
The funniest one that we received, and me and Dave love any of like we love to do the random challenges and like,
the weirdest
random
things possible.
run 15 miles and stop at Denny's for like a massive breakfast or whatever it is. We like the random stuff. And this one guy, during the protein bar series, he sent us an alternative to protein bars, a protein chicken breast bar. And this is literally a chicken breast just in a sealed bag.
It's a straight up chicken breast, a pre-cooked chicken breast in a plastic bag.
Really?
Yes.
And he's like, will you give this a try? And we're like, sure.
I guess.
Send it. We're like, and we're texting, we're like, this is hilarious, dude. Like,
sent him like they
chicken
came
breast in a
frozen,
bar.
like a big box,
Oh,
insulated
so it's all
box.
preserved and everything too.
Yeah,
And
they like
they-
teriyaki, and like their position as like an alternative to chicken bar. Not the best.
It was no comment on that
Yeah.
one.
It's the concept is a good idea.
No. Dave said for being a chicken breast in a bag.
It was very good.
Pretty
It
good.
was very good. But as a alternative to a
protein.
Barbell or a Fit Crunch, you can't substitute a chicken
That's not
breast for
making the
that.
top
That's
10
not
or
making
anything
the
like
top
that.
10. But it was worth a try.
Yeah.
Like we said, there's a bunch of options out there. There's an option for everybody.
Yeah.
Maybe a chicken bar breast is your thing, then you can try that. I don't
What
know.
was a video of your guys' that everybody was like, never do this one again? Like, was there a challenge that they were like, or do you guys get recommendations for new challenges?
Oh, like all of our ideas come from people commenting. Like,
Really?
like a lot of our
Yeah.
ideas. Like we'll have some organic ones from ourselves, and we'll brainstorm a bit. But whenever we're doing challenges, it's always a lot of our call to actions are like, hey, like let us know what challenge you want us to do next, or let us know what protein bar you want us to
It's
try
a good
next,
call to
or energy
action,
drink. And
I would say
people
maybe-
will let us know,
yeah.
and especially in our stories, we'll kind of give them an option. Like, do you want me to do this outrageous activity or this outrageous activity?
Yeah.
And whatever they want to see. Like,
I
we'll
would
just
say
be like,
overall,
"Alright,
we
do it."
probably had the most concern about me eating protein bars
Yeah.
only for 9 days
Like-
straight.
like-
rightfully so.
Yeah.
Rightfully so. Like, I appreciate the concern
for sure.
on that
And
one.
like people that that are mutuals of mine that don't even know Dave, they're like, dude, is your buddy doing okay right now? And I'm like, honestly, I don't know. I should probably check.
My
in on
concern
him.
with both of you was the digestive part of it.
Yeah, it wasn't
Well,
great.
we don't need
It
to
wasn't
get into
great.
yeah, we don't
need
have to.
get
But I
into
thought
that.
when you guys were doing this challenge, I was like, I wonder if this will give them a run for their money.
Yeah. The one nice thing about the protein shakes, so because we always like to see like what do they think's worse. A lot of people thought that the protein shakes would be worse. The protein bars are way worse because I could still do a smoothie with like a bunch of fruit and stuff in it, add a protein scoop. At least I'm getting some like fiber and stuff like that. More natural stuff. Like
You're much more limited in the protein
that's a
The weirdest-
restriction right there.
The weirdest thing with the protein bar challenge is I usually don't have an issue with artificial like sugars. Like, I don't really mind them that much, but they started to creep up on me. Like,
Really?
They like you could really taste them by the end. Like, it tasted very artificial. I was probably eating like 80 grams of artificial sugar a day, like for like 9
it'll
days.
catch
That's
up
a
to
lot
you.
of artificial
It'll
sugar.
catch
Like,
up.
it was catching up to me.
Yeah.
But so I needed a little break from that, but I'm good now. I think I've recovered.
Yeah. When you stopped doing it, like when you looked at the last bar, you were like, all right, I'm done. Like, what was the give-in point?
Yeah.
It was just so ridiculous. It was just so ridiculous
Yeah.
that I just walked around with protein bars all day, and that's all I ate.
Yeah.
I just at my cubicle at work, I'm just okay. Here's lunch. I'm gonna go eat 2 protein bars. Like, that was it, and I just missed. Like, I just want to eat like a potato. Like, I just want to eat a potato.
Yeah, I like that's
the
what your
most
brain
boring
went to.
food, like potato and rice sounds
Yeah.
so good to me. Good to me.
And that was my fallen part too with the protein shakes. Like I didn't eat anything solid for 5 straight days. So I was like, it almost felt like a water fast or like a fast if you ever done that. I didn't take down a single solid food. And I was like, just give me like a bag of pretzels or something, please.
Something to chew on.
Yeah, so I couldn't wait just to have like a regular meal after all that.
What was the goat when you broke it? What was the meal you went for?
Kava.
Really?
It's kind of like a spin-off of Chipotle.
Yeah.
I actually don't think they have any up here.
They don't.
So like I said, I live in Charlotte. It's like as prominent as like Chipotle, maybe a bit less, but it's all over the place down there. It's like a chain restaurant.
Yeah.
And it's incredible. Like I actually don't like, and I was always a Chipotle guy. I actually don't go to Chipotle because of Kava. Like I strictly go to Kava now.
Yeah.
Dave can attest. It's
good.
Insane.
It's
really
like
it's
they,
very good.
They need to open one up in Wexford or Seneca.
Yeah,
he
took me and I was shocked.
Yeah.
It's that good. It's almost like it's just like a fresh take on Chipotle. It's like a fresh take on Chipotle.
It's like a Mediterranean version of
Got
Chipotle.
it.
Like they have like hummus and stuff, like different sauces.
And I love Chipotle,
it's
but Chipotle hasn't changed. Chipotle hasn't changed.
The only thing they changed is the limited protein.
Yeah, they have a limited edition protein, which is good.
And I did try that honey chicken, like the honey chicken,
which is good.
Damn good.
But they haven't changed anything else in the past 10 years, so it's nice to get like a
refresh.
No
doubt.
What was your meal when you broke the protein bar?
I went to Kelly O's in Wexford.
Did you?
Yeah,
Nice.
And I had a big plate. I think I had like chocolate chip pancakes, couple eggs, and sausage. It was incredible. It was incredible.
Yeah.
It was so good.
Did both your brains like light up differently whenever you ate it?
Yeah. I couldn't wait.
Yeah. And I like I said, I got a lot of hate comments, not hate comments, but a lot of people were concerned. And I blew them off at first, but like by day 8 or 9, I was like, they might be onto something. Like maybe there was like a week where like I was a little bit off. Like it was just my hunger. Like my hunger was just off for like an entire week, just because I was so used to the
9 straight days of protein bars. That is psychotic.
I was so used to the artificial like sweeteners and sugars that like it just messed up like my hunger signals for like a week.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is there a food challenge that you guys are working on soon?
Are queuing up now?
I think either carnivore or vegan.
That's a good
That would be
one.
interesting.
Yeah, I kind of want to try vegan just because like that's like I would just never eat vegan.
Vegan is so restrictive.
Until I get the protein in with that.
Yeah,
I don't know how that'd be possible.
Like my idea would be to eat vegan for a whole entire week and hit 200 grams of protein every single day. Like that would be my goal.
That'd be cool, honestly.
And just because like on my own, I would never eat vegan. Like I love meat, I love whey protein.
Yeah.
Like I could never imagine eating vegan on my own. So I would like to give it a try. And like a lot of people do enjoy eating that way. So I think it's at least worth like trying out. Like see, do I feel better at all eating more plants and veggies?
Yeah, that'd be an interesting one. I think protein snacks would be kind of interesting.
Protein snacks would be a good one.
Protein, like no bars, strictly protein.
So we
snacks.
did. There's edamame upstairs.
Okay.
Like they just like
Can I
little.
get some of that?
Yeah, you can. You can try it. There's one that's just like original edamame, but like it's kind of like dry, like in a chip form. It doesn't look like a chip, but it's if you just dried edamame and gave it some flavor. So there's one upstairs that's like a sriracha one that's pretty good. But like
good.
snacks like that.
Yeah. I feel like I've seen like people put that in like the air fryer and stuff, and it turns into like a little chip.
It could, yeah.
Yeah, okay, it's interesting.
This company was gonna send us protein pizza, so Dave was very like.
I was ready to go. I was ready to go.
Yeah.
We were talking to this company. They were going to send us like a 2-week supply of protein pizzas so I could only eat protein pizzas.
We were going back and forth.
Weeks.
Like they were on board with the challenge.
Yeah, we sent them like a bunch of like scripts, like how we were going to form the videos. And then the very last minute, they're like, "Oh, we don't ship to the United States, by the way."
They were like a Canadian company or something.
Really?
And they're like, "Oh, sorry."
They were in Toronto. And they couldn't ship to Pittsburgh. I was like, "It's not that far."
I wonder if the tariffs actually got them on that.
Me, I don't know.
I wonder if they're like, we can't afford that.
Are ruining our protein pizza challenge. Come on.
The tariffs are ruining our protein pizza challenge.
That's a funny spin to throw on it.
But I mean, I was down to eat protein.
That sounds
pizza
like a really
for 2
fun
weeks.
challenge.
Yeah, why not? So we had to find an American brand that will give us 2-week supply of protein pizza.
I don't know any of the brands for protein pizza.
There's a couple. Bonza,
Quest. They're not the best out of the substitute options. Do you have any good challenge suggestions for us? Like
food
you said, we get a lot of our suggestions. Like I would say our followers decide a lot of our challenges.
They do a good job.
I don't have it off the top of my head, but I think the carnivore and the vegan challenge is a really good idea. Cool. I think what would be even better in the future if this ends up becoming a source of income for you guys too is to refund that money to go like, hey, let's go to a doctor and have them run the test initially. And then after a week or so of carnivore vegan, and then to go back.
That'd be good for the protein bar challenge. That'd be good for the protein bar
challenge. But I'm
saying, like,
so you guys aren't spending money technically out of your own pocket with your corporate jobs, but if it starts self-funding itself, like oh, hey, we can dump
to
this
go
in
out
to
and
go
do some
out
cool stuff like
to
that.
do some tests. And
that
stuff.
would be sweet.
That's where, to me, the carnivore and vegan would be really interesting, because the carnivore vegan,
People always say they have those benefits,
like the benefits, or like something is much higher now because of it, but from what you guys can gauge, it's like how you feel, which I think is a great initial start.
It's very subjective.
Yeah, but like you could do great on carnivore, you could do really bad on carnivore.
Yeah.
And like same thing with vegan. So, if like someone's like, oh, like he felt great on carnivore, that's where things can go wrong if they want to try it. But like I think that's a great challenge, and I think if you guys get to a point where you can go run tests on it and stuff to help you find your natural balance, would be cool.
Yeah. No, that would be cool to do some testing.
Another one I do want to try is I want to do some. Go ahead.
I was gonna say you guys should try a high rocks.
That would be. We've talked about that before.
Yeah. I was gonna say that's the only
up
challenge that I would be able to list off the top of my head is to do a high rocks.
It's right up our alley with how we train. Like we both train, and Dave has had a big change towards this since his weight loss. Like the hybrid type of. We do a lot of cardio type of challenges and lifting work as well. We're both freaks about the lifting stuff. But we also, we did a half marathon with each other in Charlotte. He did like 2 like back to back. Like we do a lot of those type of things. The Murph challenge, so it would translate well to us. Yeah, I'd be curious to see how we could do in something like that.
Yeah, and specifically train for like a month.
Yeah,
and then it'd be
document that. That'd be super.
And
cool.
then how do we think we'll perform?
Yeah,
and then how you actually
yeah.
perform, and then you could do like an A/B test.
That'd be sweet. I haven't done like the full dive into the whole high rocks.
I know very little about it.
But
I know
it's right up our alley for sure.
If you wanted to talk to someone about doing it, Total Pursuit Athletics, you know them behind the Evan City Park and Ride.
Yeah.
They do.
Wait, didn't you go to a class?
Yes,
there?
I
so
did.
they do high rock stuff.
Yeah, they train for high rocks. One of my friends, one of his like sister. Actually trains at that place for some of the high rocks because they like converted from a CrossFit to like a high rocks gym, I think.
They do. They offer both. Yeah.
And it was cool. So I went there with him the day before it was Christmas Eve, and they did 12 days of Christmas challenge. I don't know if you've ever heard of that.
They do
before.
A bunch of challenges for the holidays.
It was super cool. It was a similar type of training to that. It was an awesome workout.
Yeah, but I think off the top of my head, I think a high rocks would be a fun one for you.
I appreciate that. Yeah, that's a good one.
We need another exercise challenge soon.
We do. We need another. We've been doing a lot of food. We need to do a wild challenge coming up.
Get us back on track a little bit.
And then you can refresh and go do another.
Yeah. Then we'll do like 20 days straight protein bar.
Yeah. But yeah, I think that's a good one for you guys to do.
Yeah, I like that.
Awesome.
So we'll do a final wrap up here. We have a section that we'll kind of close it with. We have a Spotify playlist that we take guests and add 3 songs that they've recently been listening to or 3 of their favorite songs. And so then it's like they can go through the Spotify and see what our guests have been listening to, which kind of segues into what do you guys listen to in the gym?
Yeah, I'm strictly rap. I'm like, I've always been like that. Like, and I will listen to any music except country. I despise, like, I can't stand it. Like, even if someone's playing in the background, like, after sermon, I'm like, dude, change the vibes here. We got to change this up. So I'm strictly, like, a rap listener.
I've always been strictly rap, but I've recently made a slight conversion.
To what?
To a little bit of country.
Nice.
A little bit.
I can't stand it. And I live down south now. Like, I can't do it. I can't do it. I gave it a try. I can't do it.
Yeah, we're big country people here at this house, so we go.
Are you?
Oh yeah, we went to Zach Bryan. We go so Cheyenne. Funny enough, just to segue real fast, Cheyenne, Wyoming does a Frontier Days, and so you go to a rodeo, which is sweet. The professional bull riding comes in, you go watch one of their shows, and then they have 3 days of country artists come in.
Mm-hmm.
So for the past 2 years, we've gone and we've seen like Jelly Roll, Zach Bryan, Eric Church, like we've seen some pretty good country concerts. But to hear you say that, it's just like,
I know,
it's just like
in the country concerts, I give them their props because those things are packed out. Like those look like an awesome time.
Well, it's fun because it's
I'm
like
people
just
cowboy
get
boots
like
type of guy.
People just go and tailgate forever at a country concert, and everyone gets in there just hammered and just like wants to be there for a concert.
Mm-hmm. And I'm a huge music guy, by the way. Like Dave could attest to this. Like he had to live with me, unfortunately, at college. I mean, that speaker's going.
It's on all the time.
Full blast.
It's
full blast.
It's going all day.
Yeah.
Like if you have an important call to take out, you better take a hike or get to your car.
Yeah. I'll open up the Spotify playlist real fast, and you guys can go through your phones and see what you guys have been listening to.
Weird one. I don't know if you're into the rap much. I'm a die-hard Lil Tecca fan.
Are you really?
I don't know if you know.
Is he gonna save the summer?
I'm a die.
Is he saving
he's
the
saving
summer?
He's saving the summer. He does have an album coming out soon. He's saving the summer.
You better hope so.
It's a random one, but die-hard Tecca fan.
And then I can, because we have done this for a while, so I can tell you which ones we have. I'm gonna start.
Yeah. You're gonna have a nice list here.
Yeah.
I need this list.
Yeah.
Wait, we gotta get this
Well,
on Apple
yeah, if
Music.
it's
We gotta get
country,
this on
then
Apple
you're
Music. I'll just delete all the country
delete the country ones.
I think my buddy has the Noah, who I normally do these with. He has the Apple Music playlist version, so I can actually have him send it to you guys.
God, I've been listening to a lot of throwback rap recently too.
Really?
Is it recent or
No, whatever you want to listen to. We've got like 80s rock in here. We've
Yeah.
got country in here. We've got rap in here.
I just go with my most recent song or some of my favorites.
Let me go with Pink Skies, Zach Bryan. Is that on there?
It may be. We'll see. That is a great song, though. You don't listen to that when you work out, do you?
No, that's too
All right,
far.
I added
That's
it.
too far.
Yeah, I added it in there.
And I'm going 120 by Lil Tecca.
Tecca is a good artist.
So underrated.
He is very underrated.
So
Well, it's because
underrated.
he releases music every summer. So
Yeah.
now people are like,
I feel like I texted you like a month ago and like I asked you if you were a big Lil Tecca fan, and you kind of blew me off. You're like, a little bit.
You know that is a dead lie. You know that is a dead lie. Anyone that knows me well knows that I'm
gonna find the text.
I'm a freak.
I'm gonna find the text.
I'm a freak for Lil Tecca. Go find it, dude. You won't find that. I actually like Apple Music sends like the same as Spotify.
Your
Like,
rap?
I was like a top 10% listener to Lil Tecca. I think it was actually 5.
Yeah.
Top 5% listener to Lil Tecca this last year. That's
hilarious.
It's not
That's
something
hilarious.
to brag about, but just one of my recent favorites. I do like T Grizzly a lot. Jalen Hurtsky. I love that song. I don't even know what else to get.
D Grizzly is good.
I'm a big Don Toliver fan. Big Travis fan. I went to both of their concerts in Charlotte, which was awesome.
Which one did you like more?
I'm more of a Travis fan, so I'll probably say Travis because of that, but Don Toliver put on a show too. Ski Mask was opening for him as well. So it was a sweet concert as well. Yeah.
Give me Good Days by SZA.
Nice.
SZA is an absolute queen. Good call.
Good call.
Good call. I'll go. This is just another recent one. I'll go Senseless by Kodak.
Mm-hmm.
It's a good listen. Those are my
Kodak is good.
Those are some nice recent ones.
Yeah, we got one more.
Nights Like This, The Kid Leroy.
Nice.
I've always liked your music taste as well. You used to be
always
more.
been on the
You used to
same
be
vibe.
more
We've been
on
the same vibe.
the. You used to be more on the rap track for sure.
yeah.
So you always had some good stuff for me.
I'll do mine. Gotta do mine as well. So I'm gonna go. I've been listening to Black Rockstar by Ken Carson a lot. You
Is
know
that
Ken
country?
Carson? No, he's pretty much just another Playboy Cardi. Funny
Really?
enough, though, I don't like.
What? I've never even heard of him before.
You'd have to if you like Cardi.
I like
at
Playboy
least,
Cardi.
Then I
liked
listened to
that
Ken
recent
Carson a little
album
bit.
he had.
Yeah. We're going
Interesting.
to a John Party concert here soon, so I'm gonna add
Country.
Yeah, he's country. What did he just
Like I don't even know the country.
You ready? Like this
singers
one,
at
I'm gonna
all.
add this one. It's called Honky Tonk Hollywood.
That sounds up your alley, sir.
And then another one I've been listening to in the gym. I'm gonna add in Otis by Kanye.
Oh
West.
yeah.
That's a
Oh
good
god,
one.
yeah. Kanye.
I
is
like
a-
throwing in that like listening to that album every once in a while.
Yeah.
And I stumble back to it every single time.
I love Devil in a Red Dress or whatever
Yeah,
it is, or Dress or whatever from Kanye. I love a bunch of the old Kanye. All Falls Down. I love that song.
Yeah.
I love all of Kanye's stuff. Honestly, Kanye's the best.
What about Ye stuff like Donda?
I like some of his more recent stuff, but like when I'm listening to Kanye, I'm going to those
like,
throwbacks.
yeah.
I always listen to any new music. Like you can tell if someone's not a true music fan. Like the new music drops 12 o'clock Thursday night, midnight on Thursday night, fresh open for the Friday. Oh, yeah. So I'm always on the new music.
I'm looking on, Spotify does the new music Fridays too, and I'm on
exactly. Like midnight Friday, it's dropping every single time. That's when everyone drops. I don't know what it is. But I listen to anyone that I relatively like. I'm listening to their new music. I'm always on top of the new music.
Yeah. Yeah.
The gym playlist has to be nice.
It's got to be updated, but it's also going to be like, I want a throwback real fast.
Yeah, exactly.
And then go to a good throwback.
Yeah. I love my playlists.
I really appreciate you guys.
Dude, thank you. That was awesome.
Yeah,
this was great. I wish you guys nothing but the best in the future, especially
you
with
as
some
well.
of these challenges.
Merch too. Give us some merch.
Yeah, we're Natty neighbors.
Yeah, we gotta get
we need some.
So I'm excited to see where your fitness journeys take you guys and some of the collabs that you guys might end up doing in the future too. I hope you guys get some more of those. That'd be fun for you guys.
Yeah, definitely. When we're a bit bigger, we're gonna come back on.
Together. Hopefully I'll be a bit bigger
right now.
too.
We're gonna be there. Yeah, we'll grow at the same time.
But yeah, like I said, good luck, guys, and we'll see you guys in the next episode. Deuce.
You can't manage this, can't break this, boy, I'm funded. Gotta keep my distance when you not 100,